Hello guys, this is the headphoneaddict.com and this is part 2 of my review of the Grace Design M903 reference headphone amplifier, DAC and studio monitor controller. So, as I touched upon in the previous video, where I ran through most of the features, connectivity and stuff like that, in this video I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I perceive it, which qualities I feel that it has, and talk about the sound quality, etc. So, as I touched upon in the previous video, this product was mainly targeted towards audio professionals because they tend to like neutral sounding systems. So it is neutral, there's no way around that. So if you're in the market for something that sounds neutral, you might want to have a look at this. However, it's a bit pricey. I don't remember if I said that in the last video, but I checked Amazon and I believe they will run you about $1,900 US or something in the vicinity of that. Okay, so the product was mainly targeted towards audio professionals, but it gained some traction in the audiophile community due to its great build quality, great connectivity, great sound quality and stuff like that. So it has gained popularity both amongst audiophiles and audio professionals. However, just to make it clear, 1, I'm not a audio professional. 2, I'm not an audiophile, I'm just an enthusiast who enjoy great sound. And 3, I'm not a professional reviewer or anything like that, so you have to take my reviews for what they are, basically just my opinion, and well, that's that really. So how does it sound? Well, it has a neutral sound, as I said. It's probably considered by most to be a bit bright because neutral means that it's not going to roll off higher frequencies or emphasize lower frequencies, which you can expect with other amplifiers and other digital to analog converters. So it will pretty much be flat. However, if you use this with something like these headphones, which are a pair of Sennheiser AH-D7000s, which are known to be warm sounding, dark sounding, with emphasis on the bass, this combination together with the Grace Design M903 will be superb in my opinion, because if you listen to something like the Sennheiser AH-D7000s on a dark sounding amplifier or dark sounding DAC, you will most likely feel that everything is just a pile of mud really, whereas on the Grace Design M903 it separates various instruments, various sounds perfectly, in my opinion, and also it has enough power to really emphasize the bass as well. So the bass on, I believe it, at least I think that the bass on the Sennheiser AH-D7000s are great with the M903. Also the soundstage is very good and the highs are rolled off. However, they are the highs are clearer with these than with something like the WAUdio WA6SE, which I've also got. However, the WAUdio is more spacious, I should say, whereas this is more forward sounding. So that's something to consider. With other headphones, like for instance these, just have to take them down from here. With something like this, which is the Beyerdynamic, let me just zoom out here. With these, which are a pair of Beyerdynamic T1s, the flagship model from Beyerdynamic, this amplifier will turn into, or this combination I should say, turns into something truly analytical. The highs is goes extremely high. The lows are the bass control with these two are just fantastic, even at extremely low volumes. So if I'm going to listen to something at extremely low volumes, I would connect these to the Grace, and it's just amazing, really. I was really impressed by that, really. However, if I turn the volume up with that combination, I kind of feel that it tends to be a bit too bright. However, there's something you need to know about the brightness, and this goes every time you're in the searching or reading reviews or doing stuff like that. When it comes to sound, you might or might not be aware of this, but human hearing deteriorates as we grow older. So when you're young, you're able to hear a much larger range of frequencies than when you grow older. So I think it's from the age of 25 or something like that, your hearing starts deteriorating, so the range of frequencies will go lower and lower as you age. So something that sounds bright to someone being 25 years will probably not sound bright to someone which is in the late 30s, early 40s, or late 40s or something like that. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're looking for gear. So I think that sums it up, really. Also, just want to say that I've thrown a lot of headphones at this amplifier, and it drives all of them very well. Like the Beyerdynamic T1s, they are 600. They have an impedance of 600 ohms, so it powers them great. The Sennheiser AH-D7000, which I shown you, have an impedance of 300 ohm, but it's variable, so it peaks at about 480 ohms, and the m903 drives them sufficiently as well. So it's a very powerful amplifier. Also, the output impedance of the m903 is 1.2 ohms, and there's a kind of a rule of thumb flying around on the internet which states that the headphone impedance should be at least 8 times larger than the output impedance of your headphone amplifier. So if the output impedance of your headphone amplifier is 10 ohms, the headphone should be at least 80. Okay, so headphone output impedance 10 means headphones 80 ohms. Output impedance 20, well, times 860, so you don't want headphones lower than 160. However, this is just a rule, and it comes from a guy named NWAvGuy, which has a blog, and he's a sound engineer and a very technical person, and he claims that if you don't impedance match your headphone amplifier and headphones, you will get distortion and stuff like that. I've run headphones with low impedance on high impedance outputs and have not had huge problems with that, so I'm not sure how valid his point of view are, but he sure seems to know what he's talking about. So it's probably not something you want to disregard fully. Also, with something like these, I just want to show you fast. With something like these are the Denon AH-D7000s, the earlier flagship model from Denon before they came out with the Denon AH-D7100. The bass response is really awesome with the Grace Design m903, also at low volumes. However, the bass response and just the dynamics of everything is much better on low volumes with the T1s, which I said earlier. But this drives the Denons almost to perfection, I would say. I really enjoy the sound. However, it can tend to be a tad bright, but it's not something that will burn holes in your ears or anything like that, but it's something to keep in mind. So you might want to bring your Denons with you if you're going to demo the Grace Design M903. Okay, so to sum everything up, the Grace Design M903 is a neutral amp, it's a transparent amp, it powers most headphones, at least all the headphones I've thrown at it to a great extent, never had any power issues with it whatsoever. It has power enough to drive the bass, so it sounds really great. It's a bit forward, so it doesn't add or subtract anything from your sound, so if your recording is forward sounding, it will sound forward sounding. If it's spacious, it will sound spacious, and basically shit in, shit out. It might be perceived as a bit bright by some. It has great details, it has great separation. So basically I urge people who are interested in that kind of sound signature to give these ones a go. Okay, so thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please thumb it up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Okay, goodbye.